How many times have you seen this happen? How many times has it happened to you? For those of you who do not realize what I am referring to, please take a look at this screenshot of the moment. With only 1129 HP, this host went into an endgame boss and got one-shotted. I do a lot of co-op when I play Elden Ring. It is one of my favorite things to do. The amounts of times that I have seen this is honestly quite alarming. A lot of players decide to neglect their health when they level up a character, and as a result, many co-op runs are ruined by a single attack that one-shots the host. For this reason, my dear viewer, it is my absolute recommendation that no matter what type of build you are making, you always run 60 Vigor. This is one of my own personal rules whenever I make a build, because having more HP means that the risk of failure is that much lower. In this guide, my objective is to show you that a high Vigor stat can remove frustration from the game, and it can help you, the player, become better by giving you more time to learn how to deal with each boss. I will try to explain the real-time effects of having more HP and show you the benefits of a bigger health bar. I understand that this may be a lot of content, so I made sure that there are timestamps in the description of this video in order to help you reach the part that interests you the most. Let's get started. Please take a look at this clip. Here you will see that I, alongside another phantom, are helping the host fight Hoarah, the second phase of Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. The fight is actually going pretty well. The host is using sorceries, providing a good amount of range damage and support. The phantom is running a twin blade and using an assortment of poison to great effect. And then there's me. I am running a heavy paladin build with a lot of incantation support. Like I said, things are going well, until they stop going well. I want to stop the clip and bring your attention to this moment, right here. This mess that you see on this screen is the perfect moment to explain the benefits and the importance of having 60 Vigor. Hoarah did his earth-shaking attack that covers a large area of effect and deals a lot of damage. All three of us, myself, the phantom, and the host, got hit. Hey, it happens. You can't dodge everything, right? Well, I am sure that you are very clearly seeing the results of this attack. But please, let's take a moment to go over it in detail. First, there is me. You see my health bar very clearly. The yellow portion is the damage that I took from this specific attack. It's impossible to know for sure, but we can eye this out and say that this attack dealt about 20% of my total HP. This is a pretty good chunk. Now, I can tell you for a fact that in this build I am running the Leyndell Soldier Helm with the Tree Sentinel chest, arms, and legs. I am also using the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. All of this gives me a total of 47% physical damage absorption. Remember this because it will be important in the future. I can also tell you that this build has a total of 2134 HP because I am running 60 Vigor with the Erdtree Favor +2 and the Crimson Amber Medallion +2 for additional boosts of health. So, if we see that this attack deals about 20% of my HP, then we can come to the conclusion that I took about 425 damage. I was not at full health, so after taking this attack, I still had a bit more than 50% of my HP left. This is good. I survived the attack, I can get up, heal, and get back into battle. No issues. Let's move on to the Phantom, Overin. I want to show you this screenshot from when Overin was first summoned. We can see that he is not wearing any armor in his head slot, and we can also see that he's wearing the Guardian Garb alongside the Crucible Knight legs and arms. This specific armor combination gives Overin a total of 22% physical damage absorption, which he could increase to 37% absorption if he was using the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. Unfortunately, we cannot confirm if he is using this talisman, and we don't know for sure how much HP he has. That being said, we can make some educated guesses. Over in the Phantom, took a total of 717 damage. We can see that they were a full HP when they took this hit, and we can also see that this damage was about, let's say, 35% of their maximum HP. That looks about right. So, if they took 717 damage, and this is about 35% of their maximum HP, then mathematics can tell us that their total health should be more or less about 2050 HP. You can get 2050 HP as a Phantom by having 60 Vigor and the Crimson Amber Medallion +2 equipped. Furthermore, the damage that they took, 717 points of damage, is about 40% more damage than what I took, 425 points of damage. This means that they are probably not using the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, and that his absorption is indeed at 22%. What is the result? Well, Overin the Phantom took 717 points of damage from this attack, but since they leveled up Vigor, this only quantified to about 35% of their total HP. This means that Overin the Phantom can get hit, get up, heal if they choose, and continue the fight. They are ready to go. Let's compare the situation between Overin the Phantom and myself. I took about 425 points of damage, which is about 20% of my HP, while Overin took 717 points of damage, about 35% of their HP. I have 47% damage absorption, and they have 22% damage absorption. I have more than twice the amount of physical damage absorption than they do, yet they only took 15% more total HP damage. We are both capable of surviving this attack, recovering, and continuing the fight. As you can see, doubling my absorption with heavy armor made me take 15% less total HP damage. What is the conclusion? Well, armor, my dear viewer, is not as important as HP. Overin, running a cosplay build with half the amount of defense that I have, only took 15% more total damage, but because they had 60 Vigor and an HP boosting talisman, this extra 15% total HP damage does not change anything. They survived the hit, and they are ready to get back into the fight. This is the power of having high health. This is the value of running 60 Vigor. With 60 Vigor, you get 1900 HP, and you can even boost it a bit more with some talismans for extra safety. This HP will help you survive 1, 2, and even 3 hits of the most powerful attacks in the game. Having high HP is more important than having heavy protective armor. When you are making a build, I recommend that you focus on getting more HP, and then use whatever armor you think looks best. Get HP and go for fashion, because armor defense is not as important as having more health. This is something that you can clearly see in this example. And finally, let's talk about the host. Please take a look at this screenshot of the host from before the boss battle. We can clearly see that they are wearing the full Lusat set, head, chest, and arms, and they are using some kind of boots for their legs. I can't really see very clearly which boots they are. That being said, I did look through all of the armors in the game that looked similar to these boots, and we can say that the host has more or less about 15% physical damage absorption. Again, it is impossible to know if they're using the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, but based on the amount of damage they took, I highly doubt it. Mrs. Bigglesworth here was killed in a single shot after taking a total of 1026 damage. We can clearly see that this is 100% of their health. Host Mrs. Bigglesworth decided to show up to an endgame boss with only 1026 HP. To put it into perspective, you can get this amount of HP with about 31 Vigor. As you can see, 31 Vigor, 1026 HP with 15% physical damage absorption will get you one-shotted. There is no need for numbers or math, it is simply there. The host, Mrs. Bigglesworth, went from 100% HP to 0% HP in a single hit. They made one mistake in this whole fight, and we lost. They were doing good, but one mistake, and we lost. I made the same mistake. Phantom Overin made the same mistake. But we were ready, and we survived. The host was not ready, and because the host was not ready, they will have to repeat the full boss fight again. Just because they made a single mistake. If they would have had 60 Vigor, their chances of survival would have been guaranteed. Even with just 15% physical damage absorption, if they would have had 1900 HP, this attack would have probably done between 1200 to 1500 damage. It would have been close, but they would have survived. And if they would have survived, then Phantom Overin or myself could have rushed the boss, get aggro, and give the host time to heal. But that was not possible, because the host got one-shotted. One mistake, and we lost. Having more Vigor, having more HP, means that the player gets the chance to recover from a mistake and continue the fight to take the victory. This is the value of 60 Vigor. It is the difference between finishing the boss fight and having to reset it. In this next clip, I am doing some co-op in the Consecrated Snowfield, and I was summoned to the Consecrated Snowfield Catacombs to help the host get through it. We advance through the dungeon and are making good time, getting rid of the challenges as they present themselves. Now, the reason why I bring this clip to your attention happens exactly here. My dear viewer, you are seeing that the host was one-shotted by a dungeon trap, and this host had a total of 697 HP. Indeed, this host came to the Consecrated Snowfield, an endgame area, with less than 700 HP. Why am I pointing this out to you? The reason is because I want to make sure that you understand something very important. Without a good amount of HP, armor is absolutely useless. Please take a look at this screenshot of the armor that the host is wearing throughout this dungeon. It is the full Veterans set. This set provides very good defensive values. It offers a total of 35% physical damage absorption and 26% magic damage absorption. I am not sure if this frost trap deals physical damage or magic damage, but regardless, this armor offers a good amount of defense against both types. Obviously, we don't know if the host was using any talismans that increase or decrease damage absorption, so we are forced to work with the static numbers of the armor set. Like I mentioned before, the host had really good defenses. They were wearing reliable armor. Unfortunately, with less than 700 HP, wearing the Veterans set is no different than being completely naked. When we were examining and comparing Phantom Overin with myself in the last clip, we came to the conclusion that armor is not as important as HP. Now, with the current clip, I want to highlight this. Armor is useless without good HP. This host could have been wearing the full Bull Goat set and they would have still been one-shotted by this trap. Armor is something that works in combination with HP. The more HP you have, the more powerful armor becomes. If you have a high amount of HP, then the higher defenses of better armor will provide a higher benefit. In the last clip, we saw that Phantom Overin only had 22% damage absorption. This is much less than what this host that died to the frost trap had. But Overen's 22% was much more valuable than host Yisu's 35%, because Overen had more health to make it count. Overen's 22% absorption allowed them to survive 2 or 3 hits of the most powerful attacks in the game. On the other hand, host Yisu's 35% damage absorption was not even good enough to help them survive one single frost trap. As you can see, 60 Vigor makes all armor in the game better. The more health you have, the more benefit you get from wearing better armor. The more health you have, the more liberty you get in order to choose what armor you can wear. When you run 60 Vigor, you are not only increasing your HP, you are also increasing the efficiency of every single armor piece in the game. And that means that you will have more choices in armor. This leads to better fashion, and there is absolutely nothing better than having good fashion and good survivability. With 60 Vigor, you can survive, and you can look good surviving. My dear viewer, I will never judge any player for the choices that they make when they are playing the game. I can respect anyone's decision to play one way or another. That is the point of these types of games, after all. My purpose here was to explain the way that I do things and to give my reasons on the benefits that my preferences can provide to any player. In this case, I believe that running 60 Vigor is truly one of the best things that any player can do in order to increase the power and efficiency of their build. Of course, you may agree or disagree with me. No matter what your opinion is, do not hesitate to share it. I look forward to reading your point of view. This is one of my own personal rules that I use in all of my builds in order to make sure that they are prepared to face even the toughest bosses of the endgame. So far, it has not let me down, and I sure do hope that this tip can also help you. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope I get to see you on the next one.